Hey guys, tonight I've been out here working on some videos for the guys down in Australia, and I've noticed there's been a few posts about solvent pop lately, so let's talk a little bit about solvent pop. This is kind of the setup of the booth that I usually spray in. So air in the top, out the front, we've got a paint room here, and then the walk-in door to the booth is right here from the paint room wrapped around. So what is solvent pop? What happens? Why does solvent pop happen? Solvent pop happens when your clear creates a skin. So let's say this is your layer of clear, and there's a few reasons this can happen, but basically if this is your layer of clear, if there's 4 mils here or whatever the number is, your clear is drying. The top layer is drying probably because you've got too fast of a reducer in there, and especially in hotter temperatures, if you use a fast reducer and a faster activator, you'll run into this clear. The top layer has airflow going by it, and we all know that if you add airflow to any equation, it equals faster dry times. So basically what you're doing, this is skinned over, and there's these solvents down here that are still trying to get out. This is not dried, I'll say, yet, and these solvents are trying to get out, but this has skinned over. This is hard, getting hard now, and those solvents have nowhere to go, so eventually they all kind of collect in one spot and they push out, and a lot of times it'll look like a little fisheye or something, and you may even see some liquid coming out. That's solvent, that's reducers, basically, is what that is. And that's one reason why solvent pop happens. So if you're getting solvent pop, I would say you should probably up your activator temperature range. If for example, I spray Global 8152. If I'm using 8371 activator and 885 reducer and I'm getting solvent pop, I'm probably going to switch to 8372 and maybe 895 if it's a real hot day. I've heard some guys talk about how they'll paint a car, it'll look great, they'll give it a couple hours just with the booth running, and they'll shut the booth down, and they come back the next day and it's covered in, it looks like tiny fish eyes, but it's only on the top of the vehicle. I call this solvent lay, and what that is, how this happens is, say I've cleared this car, I've shut the booth down, you've got this enclosed room. This may be dry to the touch, but it's still drying. There's still solvents coming out, and as those solvents come out, they're going to go up into the air, and they're going to be vapors, basically. You won't see them, but if you can smell it, it's still drying. So what that's going to do is they're all going to come out, they're going to do their thing, they're going to leave, and then they're going to go up in the air, and then eventually they're going to settle back down on your car, and this is going to happen to a different degree. Basically, the solvents that are coming down, they're recollecting, and it's softening that clear, causing it to kind of bite into that and create a crater or a little fisheye or a solvent pop. Now, when this happens, you probably won't see any fluid coming out of it because it's laid on the top, and over time it has dried out. But that solvent is coming down and re-softening that clear, and there's the weight, that tiny little weight of that solvent is creating a crater. So how do you avoid the solvent lay? One thing is let the booth run as long as possible. Don't put your last coat of clear on and clean the gun and shut the booth down. That's about the worst thing you can do as far as that goes. So you definitely want to let the booth run, at least a couple hours, I would say, and baking can enhance this skinning effect, because when you bake, the air temperature is 140 or whatever your number is, and the whole goal of that is to get the metal of the car hot and cure the clear, but you're also going to multiply this effect by a lot. If you've got, say 75 degree air going across here, it's going to dry a lot slower, it's going to skin a lot slower than if you've got 140 degree air going by here, because this, being on the outside, is going to get hot before the bottom layer of your paint system. Another thing that I do to avoid this is after I've cleared and I've let the booth run for 2 hours, whatever the number is, I always open the doors. So in the booth that we spray in, we've got the drive-through doors here, and then I'll open my paint room door and my paint booth door, and you can even put just a little 20-inch box fan or something right there, just anything to keep a slight bit of air moving, because for this whole process to happen takes quite a while of very still air, and all you need to do is just keep some air moving through here and just let them slowly get out of the booth. I've heard of some guys talking about putting clear in the fridge and cooling it. That is a terrible idea. It may help with your solvent pop issue, but once your clear hits anything below 58 degrees, the isocyanates in it are dead, and they will never, once the isocyanates die, they will never come back. You won't have proper cross-linking in your paint system.